She is power. She is love. She is hope. She inspires. She is many journeys in one lifetime. She is the people, an individual, a never-ending story of the beauty of possibility.
I nearly didn't get into medical school, I put it that way. I got rejected from a couple of medical schools.
I was a treasury officer, went through the ranks in treasury.
You find the whole reverend thing geared towards the male.
So I had to learn now how to find my voice. I think the other thing for me would be hard work and continuous self-improvement.
My faith is everything.
Be a part of She Inspires this and every Wednesday on the I Am Drive on Sunny 88.7 FM, 8:30 a.m. and live on Facebook same time. Also join in on Sunny TV every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. She Inspires is proudly brought to you by She Inspires.
One of the most sought-after architects in Ghana joins me on She Inspires today. I believe that every woman, every entrepreneur, every wife, every mother has got to hear what she has to share with us on the show today. Mrs. Karen Evans Halm is my guest on She Inspires. She is the co-founder and the Chief Operations Officer of Spektra Global. My name is Jennifer, host of She Inspires. Stay with us. We'll be back with Karen.
Daffy's or human you. Daffy's or human feminine mischanty. A massable so many so Emma. Ye bui and sayente ya bia. A san siesi man cassa. Daffy abusiana ekese. Intia their mouth for comfort and no panel. Daffy's shower gel. And pour na money. You want to dear. And a cocoa dear. What did Jaria? A man natural look.
Mesu de misu Daffy's feminine cleanse and a capsules ne sie me. E ma me nten carboni bia me Jimmy hu dia nkasa.
Daffy no pano. And what dance here bebre. Daffy sana. Aba ma ye nyina. Enkra toy FD ahwehwe ma gya to say ye.
Elegance, comfort, pristine, relaxing. Welcome to Hotel Kasavere, located in the heart of East Legon, Accra. Perfect home away from home. With incomparable attention to detail, we have mastered the unique culture of Ghanaian hospitality. Treat yourself to delicious local and continental dishes from our 24-hour restaurant and take a cold swim to relieve your stress. Call Hotel Kasarere today on 0540 348876 for a truly royal experience.
Hey, stop! You little man, just see him go. This baby can run all day long. I wonder what I would do if there were two of him. I am very happy I decided to wait before having another child. Luckily, I met a family planning advisor at a salon who gave me great advice. I also claimed the Advantage Secure Gifts. Now I can space the birth of my children as I want. With Secure, I decide.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome, Karen. So wonderful to have you on She Inspires.
Thank you so much, JJD, for having me.
First, I wanted to ask you, why architecture?
I think I got into architecture because growing up, I loved to do things with my hands.
What are some of the things you would build?
Oh, nothing serious. I mean, so my parents had, back then they had things like boxes. So when they buy provisions and things in the house and they throw them away, perfume boxes and stuff like that, I'll cut them out. Used to create a space. You know, we used to play things like house. These days the children, they play with tablets and stuff like that. We didn't have any of those. So we'll play like house and I'll create a tent, you know, stuff like that. So it was just kids stuff. But I mean, as I grew up, I also realized that in school, I liked, one of the courses I enjoyed was technical drawing, technical skills, visual arts.
My work was always dirty. I would clean and clean.
So I mean, those kind of things, and then with career guidance and counseling, I was counseled in the direction of architecture because of the creativity part. Engineering wasn't quite a fit because I'm also artistic. So it's not just the scientific part, but there's also a lot of art in me. So that combination led me to architecture.
So did you grow up having some architects around, maybe an uncle, mom, dad, auntie, sister, brother, or something?
Yes, I had my big cousin. He actually went to university in Nigeria. He studied architecture there. So when he would come and visit, and sometimes he would bring his studio work home, and maybe I had to help him with building a physical model or stuff like that. Then he would ask me, okay, so what do you want to do? You know, those days we used to watch Obra and Osofo Dadzi and things like that. And I used to see the scenarios played out where there's always a husband and a wife, and there's always a side chick. This side chick happens to be...
I remember the side chicks.
We didn't used to call them side chicks then. So you have the secretary, who was always smartly dressed, looking pretty and all of that. Then this boss had a wife who was...
all over the place?
All over the place. So I was like, I want to be a secretary because I want to be the sharp one. I want to be the nicely dressed one and stuff like that. And then I told my cousins that, so, when I grow up, I want to be a secretary. They totally laughed at me and told me that, Karen, you can actually have your own secretary. I'm like, oh, okay. So that is when we started the talk about careers, and my cousin will come home, and then I'll see some of the work. And I actually understood, because of the technical drawings, I actually understood some of the layouts, and he would take me through, and it wasn't difficult for me to comprehend.
Okay. So when finally your parents saw that our daughter Karen is serious about this, I want to know what kind of comments they make. Did they push you on and say, no, go for this?
Yes, they were very supportive. They were very supportive. So growing up, I wasn't that kind of student that, I was one of those who would talk in class, and then when the exam comes, I'll still pass. So you will not really see me wake up at dawn, feet in water, studying. So my parents I was a little bit of a concern to them at a point, because I wasn't there. Before secondary school, I was very, very playful.
Which senior high school were you?
Abri Girls.
Abri Girls.
So before Abri Girls, I was very, very playful. I mean, but when they saw the seriousness coming in, grades in math, grades in science, then I myself started waking up. Children wake up at different stages in their lives. There are those who, by the time they're in class 1, they are already awake. They know that I have to study and stuff like that. For some of us, we played all the way to secondary school. So Abri Girls, that was when I actually woke up and I realized that, look, there's something that I actually have to fight for. And up until then, I was just playful and being my happy self. So it was at that point, and I could tell my father anything, really.
You had that kind of relationship with him?
Yes. When it came to things like career, things like finances, what to do and stuff like that, my father was a go-to person. So I would share with him, I want to do this. And he's not one to tell you that you can't. I remember when we were choosing the courses to go to tech, he actually went ahead, looking at my performance, he went ahead and gave me, so I remember one time we were in the living area, and then he went to the faculty of, we used to call it FEDS, Faculty of Environment and Development Studies or something like that, and he brought out all the courses that the faculty offered and gave me the pros and cons of all those courses. The content, this one, if you do building technology, you become this. If you do architecture, you become this. If you do this, you become... So I didn't enter the university blind.
Okay.
Because my father had given me some counseling. So, and he also had some friends who were in the built environment. So he knew like an architect's friend, he knew a surveyor friend. So he had a bit of knowledge in the space, coupled with my cousin, who, I mean, I will actually look through his drawings. And so I didn't enter uni blind. Yes, they were very supportive.
That must have been so helpful in your journey. And I want you to tell us, how do you see we perceive architecture? What actually is architecture?
So it's about creating space, it's about creating the built environment, as in the physical structure that we have, the city planning, and then you go down to the micro level where you look at the impact of what you are creating on the well-being of your end user. So architecture spans from the urban planning, that is the macro level, and it goes down all the way to a place like where we are sitting. So it is, the scope is very broad.
Okay.
Yes.
We have a message asking us to ask you the difference between building technology and architecture.
Architecture is, has a lot of creative aspects. Building technology is how to convert that creation into reality.
All right.
So in building technology, you have obviously the word technology, and then you have things like materials, their strengths, specifications, quantities, and so on and so forth. So it's the technology behind the translation of what has been created or envisioned by the architect into a reality on the ground.
Thank you very much. Karen, what aspect of your work excites you? You're always looking forward to that part of it, of your work.
My work is stressful.
It is?
Yes.
How stressful is it?
From start to finish, you are trying to, sometimes when someone communicates something to you, you picture one thing, but maybe the other person who is communicating this thing to you has something totally different in mind. As human beings, we think in images. So JJD is talking to me and she's describing her dream house. She has an image in mind. But as she's communicating that, I'm also perceiving another image. Okay. So the first thing you have to do is that make sure that these images are in sync. Otherwise, you are going to create something you think is beautiful and functional and everything, but to the one who communicated to you, you've deviated.
Okay.
So to the part of the work that I actually enjoy is at the final stage, when I hand over the project to my client and I see the satisfaction, then I know that
that's it for you.
Yes.
That's awesome. Karen, architecture is generally seen as a male-dominated field. I want to know, when you started off, did you start off thinking same?
Okay, so we are all girls.
How many girls?
4 girls, and I'm the first one.
You are. That's a huge responsibility.
So you are not raised to think this is a male thing, this is a male-dominated field, this a woman can do this, a woman cannot do that. So I didn't even have that concept of this is too difficult or this. It was when I got to School of Architecture and we had our first lecture and we're like, oh, okay, where did all the girls go?
Where are the women?
That was when I realized that, okay, there were just a handful of girls in the class. I was like, okay. I mean, before entering though, others from outside home had tried to discourage me that, oh, architecture is difficult, you won't get a man to marry because your level will be too high and you spend too long in school. But because I had the support from home, it was easy for me to...
else said. Didn't matter.
And plus, I was a little stubborn anyway. So if you tell me don't do, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
You're going to try. Yeah. Karen, what would you say are some everyday challenges faced by women in architecture?
Work-life balance.
Let's talk about that, Karen.
Yes. So that is where the realities of being a woman in my space hit you. At school, it doesn't. At school, it's a matter of coursework. You are smart enough, you understand, you can do the work. A is an A, B is a B. If you failed, you failed. So you have a level playing field. But when you come out of school, right, then you begin to see the various dynamics. Because then, as a woman, you are expected to marry and then have kids and then nurse them and blah, blah, blah. But then your male counterparts have kind of a straight trajectory.
Yes.
They start work and there's no looking back. So the difficulty is, how do you maintain your sharpness? How do you maintain your relevance? How do you practice still with managing a marriage, giving birth to children, and still being relevant in the workspace?
How many children do you have, Karen?
I have 3. 2 boys and a girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Karen, how have you surmounted these challenges? Because these are a lot to put together.
I had a lot of help with mentorship. So I had a business mentor who would, and the biggest thing I would say this person did for me was teach me how to navigate this work-life balance thing. She calls it the balancing act. So right from even before I got married, she would, and I saw her actually live it. So she was also a big entrepreneur now. Her children are working in their business and so on and so forth. So I mean, and she nurtured me for, I think, over 20 years now. So right from uni, or before I entered uni, I had been connected with her. And so she told me, look, these are some of the systems you need to put in place and to make sure that home is intact and you are still winning in the workplace. Because JJD, the thing is that as women, the rising of your career and the rising of your home or your children, they clash.
Yeah.
Is at the same time. Yeah. So you are forced to either come up with some very creative systems to make sure that you are winning on both edges, or you drop one. And that was not an option for me.
That was not an option. So we're going to come back and find out more about the structures that you put in place to help you smoothing out, attaining the balance you needed to win on both sides. And we need to go for a break, but I want to appreciate our sponsors. Hotel Kasareri, also Sharpen, thank you for my lovely outfit. Ajile Jewelry, thank you for these lovely accessories, my earrings. Also Duffy's Health and Beauty, they are into 100% natural skincare and feminine products, also Eddie's Pizza. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Daffy's Ohimanio. Daffy's Ohima Feminine Mischanti. A massable so many so Emma. Ye bui and sayente ya bia. A san siesi man cassa. Daffy Busiana Ekasi. Yentia their mouth for comfort and new panel.
Daffy's shower gel. And pour na money. You want to dear. And a cocoa dear. What did Jaria? And my natural look.
Mesu de misu Daffy's feminine cleanse and then a capsules ne sie me. E ma me nten carboni bia me Jimmy hu dia ankasa.
Daffy no panel. And what dance here bebre. Daffy sana. Aba ma ye nyina. Enkra toy FD ahwehwe ma gya tum say.
Elegance, comfort, pristine, relaxing. Welcome to Hotel Kasarere, located in the heart of East Legon, Accra. Perfect home away from home. With incomparable attention to detail, we have mastered the unique culture of Ghanaian hospitality. Treat yourself to delicious local and continental dishes from our 24-hour restaurant and take a cold swim to relieve your stress. Call Hotel Kasarere today on 0540 348876 for a truly royal experience.
Hey, stop! You little man, just see him go. This baby can run all day long. I wonder what I would do if there were two of him. I am very happy I decided to wait before having another child. Luckily, I met a family planning advisor at a salon who gave me great advice. I also claimed the Advantage Secure Gifts. Now I can space the birth of my children as I want. With Secure, I decide.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back to SheInspires. So we're hanging out with the co-founder and Chief Operations Officer, COO of Spektra Global. So Karen, before we went for the break, you were telling us about some of the structures you had to put in place so you could win on both sides. I'm sure there are many women out there saying, Jennifer, please, we need to know these structures, so please go ahead.
So I made sure that I use support from family. And I mean family from both my side and my husband's side. So in-law relationships, it has to be on point, because sometimes I have to go for a meeting and I have to call my mother-in-law and say that I'm going for a meeting, can I drop the kids? So you can imagine if you enter marriage with a posture that in-laws are whatever, you are killing one arm of your support system. So family, and then also I had a lot of support in terms of the home management. I have delegated everything that is delegatable.
Okay.
So we are trained to think that as a woman, you have to do everything. So you wake
Feel
up
like
at,
a woman.
so that you feel like as an African woman. That's kind of pride. There's no wisdom in it because you see, nobody pays you for that. If you wake up at 3 a.m. to sweep, nobody is going to pay you. So it's a matter of how you are pushing your time. As women, we have 24 hours. The men also have 24 hours. Whilst you're busy sweeping and preparing banku and fufu and all of those things, the male counterpart is busily networking, he's firing away with work and stuff like that. But we have been trained to think that for you to be a woman, you have to do all this heavy lifting at home and then still have, miraculously have some energy.
Miraculously is the word.
Yeah, still have some energy to expend at work. And then when you come home also, still have energy in the evening for hubby. It just doesn't work. So even when you look in the Bible, like the Proverbs 31 woman, you know, I'm sharing this because earlier on in my journey, I had a lot of trouble with this because I'd been raised like that. I would wake up at 3 a.m., sweep, scrub, fetch water. I mean, everything before work starts. Exactly. So there was this time I was reading Proverbs 31, and then I chanced upon the verse that talks about the fact that she wakes up and then distributes work to her maidens and then gives portions, some food portions to them. I'm like, whoa, hold on right there. So this, my model woman I've been trying to be like, actually has help at home. But a lot of times we read the Proverbs 31 woman, we see all the other things she does at home, at work, with husband, with society, and we somehow, because we've been conditioned that as an African woman, you have to do it all by yourself, you kind of miss it. But the Proverbs 31 woman doesn't do all that by herself. She delegates where she has to. So I have Excel sheets. When you come to my house, on my fridge, there's house chores.
Sheets?
Yes. Oh, Excel sheets.
Okay.
For garden maintenance, laundry, house chores, menu, salon appointments.
It is board for all to see.
For all to see. JJD, you and I, we are career women. We are trying to get to the top. And you see, when you are trying to get to the top, it's not a gender sensitive thing. It's either you know or you don't know. It's either you show up or you don't show up. Nobody cares about whether there's tuna in your freezer or whether there's breakfast. Nobody cares about that. In the workplace, you have to be competent and you had better show up. Remember, we are talking about how to win at home and how to win also in the career or at work. So where you can delegate and put in systems, obviously you cannot delegate raising your children. You cannot delegate time with your husband, but you can delegate scrubbing.
Definitely.
Hello?
Definitely.
You can delegate sweeping the compound. You can delegate laundry and things like that. Okay? So those are some of the things that I had to put in place. And I have 2 or 3 options for everybody.
You mentioned your husband at a point, and I know together you run Spektra Global.
Yes.
For how long have you run this together?
We've been running Spektra Global since 2010. So we've been going for 12 years.
So he is the
CEO.
And you are the COO.
Yes.
What's the experience like working full-time? Because at home is full-time. And Monday through Friday is full-time. How was the experience like working with your spouse?
Okay, so my spouse, another thing that we can, just to finish up on winning at work and winning at home, is that you need a very supportive spouse. Okay. If your husband doesn't support you, you are setting yourself up to fail. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And my husband and I, we've been sweethearts since uni. So we've been friends.
Were you in the same lecture hall?
Oh yeah, same class.
Oh wow.
So we didn't go to school just to draw. We were actually, we were having some fun along the way.
It paid off.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we've been friends since uni. And so that friendship has helped us even in marriage and at work as well. So even though we are both architects, you can have 2 journalists. They both went through the training, but each of them is unique. each of them has something that the other person doesn't have. So that is what we do. We both have the training, so it's very easy for us to understand each other. But then we also do not overlook the differences, because it's the differences that make the magic happen.
So Karen, did you start off your own thing on the side before you both came together to work at Spektra?
It's been quite a journey. We started off in school, really. So in school, you know, sometimes in school, the lecturers are able to identify the good ones and things like that. So they will let you help them on their projects and so on. And so we have something we call PP. That is personal projects. So we started with personal projects, even as students. You know, I would get, at that level, is basically just residential project that anybody would trust you with. So we started at that level. I would get someone who wants a 3-bedroom house, 4-bedroom, you know, that kind of private home. And then I would design for the person. And then the next thing, for the business journey, I started with event decoration. So we would have, because the creativity was there, putting events together. Exactly. It was like, I can do that in my sleep. So we started, because architecture, you can't just get up and start a firm. You have to have a certain level of qualification and certification before you can start a firm. So, but then an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So we looked at, okay, we can't start an architectural practice now. What can we do with what we have? We have the ability to decorate. We have the ability to pull events together. So we did that for a while until we were able to start the architectural practice. Yes.
I want you to share with us one major pitfall that anytime you have the opportunity, you want to tell people in your journey in architecture, in your practice, be careful about this.
Make sure that your clients understand that the service is not for free.
You ever had an experience like that?
Oh, yes. Especially when you are young and you are now starting. You have people who know that they should pay for professional services. You have some people who will try to muzzle you or bully you into making you do what they want because they know that you are young, you are inexperienced and stuff like that. So, and when you are young, you're also full of energy, you want the opportunity to show that.
You're excited that someone recognizes that you can do
exactly.
something.
You want to prove that, oh, I can actually do this. So once the person contacts you, you go straight to your drawing board, and those days you used to use drawing boards. Exactly. And then you start putting the thing together. I realize, and you kind of forget that, okay, so this is not just a craft, it's actually a business.
Yeah.
And so if you don't look at the business side of it, you do a lot of work and then people will just bolt with it and not pay you. So when you are starting out, make sure that the client knows, yes, we go to church together. Yes, you are my neighbor and you are my pastor and all of that.
You're my best friend.
You are my best friend, but you got to pay. Yes.
You got to pay.
Yeah.
All right, Karen, you're quoted to have said that it is not enough to become the architect that Ghana has produced, but you need soft skills to be relevant. Can you expound more on that for us?
What I tell young people is that the creativity and your portfolio would let people look in your direction that, okay, you actually have some knowledge, but in terms of you maintaining the relationship, in terms of you being able to actually build a business, you need some level of personal relationship, excellence with the way you treat people. You need some business management skills as well, because if you don't have that, then you will limit your growth. So you actually do need soft skills in terms of people management. You need managerial knowledge, because in architecture school, we are taught the craft of designing all kinds of things, but the business of architecture is never taught. So when you come out of school and you want to go beyond working in somebody else's firm, you need to educate yourself with these as well. Yes.
And I've seen you on YouTube running what you call the Master Builder Show.
Yes.
What inspired you and what do you hope to achieve with it?
The Master Builder Show is a thought leadership campaign that we do as Spectra. What we realized is that when it comes to architecture, the whole thing looks high up in the sky and is like only up to for just a certain group of people and so on and so forth. There's very little understanding, and making them more aware
You bring it home for us.
Exactly. So we realized that on the show, we don't use too many technical words. We just speak at a level of normal English for people to understand.
All can grasp it.
Exactly.
Karen, when you're not busy being an architect, smart architect, being a wife, being a mother, and it's just your me time, what do you like to do to have fun, relax, cool off, rejuvenate, re-energize and all that?
I read.
What kind of books do you like to read, Karen?
So I read business books. I read personal development books. And then I also like to walk. It just helps me deal with the stress. And then sometimes I like to bake. Not because I just like to bake, but because it's fun. My kids and myself, we are going to make lemon cake. Everybody, yay! Everybody's excited. And by the time we are done, your mind has been shifted off the busy, and you've been able to put yourself back together. There's been laughter. There's been a lot of fellowship. I mean, that the cake has a lot of fat in it, but hey, for that
once in a while,
once in a while doesn't kill anybody.
Karen, I hear that way back in school, together with your husband William, you did some singing together. I just want to take you somewhere. Is that true? My sources,
yes.
I think I have very
Yes, you
good
do have
sources.
some very reliable sources.
So, was it a choir or something?
It was in the choir.
Which choir?
I was.
Karen, I got you right.
We were both in the choir. So I was in the BSU, Baptist Students Union choir. And then William then was in a pop choir. That was Pearls of Praise from PMSU.
Okay.
And he was also the mass choir of all the choirs on Tech Campus.
Okay, that's simply amazing. But it tells me that your walk with God started way back.
Oh, yes.
You want to share your faith with us and how it's central to who you are and what you do?
I do not know where I would have been if I wasn't raised up in the Lord. I honestly cannot picture my life without God. God has been good to me, and He has kept me because, like I was telling you, as a child, I was the daring type. You tell me, don't go there, and the more you say don't go there,
the more you went.
That is where I want to go, But the Lord has kind of shielded me from some negative influences. So as soon as I got to Ibri Girls, it was like a group of senior girls just came around me and made sure that I went straight to SU. I didn't go to any of those other clubs. And then when I got to uni, it was about the same. So we had a home base, and the Sunday school teachers from Baptist, they were like watching over us wherever you go, So you are in
eyes on you.
Yes, so you are in JHS and all of that. They see you every day. As soon as you go to the boarding school, they will be writing you letters. When you're going to write your exam, they will send you success card. They will visit you to. Back then, we had that kind of care. And then when you are going to university, they'll find out who in the church was already at the university, and then just push you to the person to make sure that you have that oversight. So it's not like you go to uni and then suddenly, oh, mommy is not there, daddy is not there, so free range. By the time you get to uni, there's somebody in the church who is already maybe a year or two ahead of you. And once you know that there's somebody from church who is already here and they are watching over you, you cannot behave yourself.
Karen, our time is up. I want you to share with us your top 3 lessons on She Inspires today.
One major thing I have learned is that as a woman, your life is in stages and phases. So you need to know where you are on your journey to know exactly how you are going to navigate it so that you can maintain your relevance and win 360. So I'll just share with the women that let's figure out where we are in our journey and let's pace ourselves accordingly.
So that's one. Okay.
And then the second thing I'll share with the women out there is that don't just marry because you are 28 or because you are getting to 30. JJD, I can assure you, as a woman, you are better off staying single at 40. Just, you are better off staying single. I know that a single woman listening to me will go like, okay, so you are married and you can say
children, you know.
No, but you see, I do a bit of counseling as well, and the kind of things I hear, I ask myself, so would this woman have been better off staying single? Why bother with marriage? So don't just marry anything that shows up in trousers because you feel you are growing old. Be patient and marry the right person, because if you dare make a mistake in who you marry, your whole life is messed up. Your whole life is messed up. And then the third one is that continuously sharpen your saw.
Okay.
Continuously sharpen your saw. Because even if you are married, whoever said your hubby will be there every time, what happens when he's not there? Will you be able to stand on your own? Sometimes we make such a big deal about marriage that you pick a woman and you take the ring off, you remove the misses, and then you kind of wonder, okay, so who are you?
Left.
Without the rings, without the misses, there has to be a complete woman. You get what I'm saying? There has to be a complete woman full of substance, who can deliver, who has financial capacity and all of those things. The misses and the rings is just one arm of who you are. It is not the it. It's just a portion of you, right? So consistently sharpen your saw, irrespective of your field. When they mention the players or the game changers in your space, aim that your name should be there.
And one name that is mentioned when it comes to game changing in architecture is definitely Mrs. Karen Evans Halm, who's been my guest on She Inspires today. Karen, thank you so much for pouring out your heart to us. I could tell your 3 pieces of advice were so heartfelt. Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us on today's She Inspires. Karen, it looks like we have to get you back. Thank you for joining us on today's edition of She Inspires.
Thank you for
having me.
A big
thank you to our sponsors, Hotel Kasareri, Sharpen. Thank you for my outfit. Also, Agili Jewelry. I'm loving these accessories. Thank you so much. Also, Eddie's Pizza, Duffy's Health and Beauty. You want feminine products? You want 100% skincare products, natural skincare products? You want to contact Duffy's Health and Beauty. Thank you all for joining us on today's episode of She Inspires. Be sure to join us next week. My name is Jennifer Jessica Danquah. Catch you again. Bye-bye.